Okay, welcome tonight to our NGO's volunteer activity. We are so lucky to have Beyza here. Beyza is an English teacher. She graduated English language and literature from Kayseri Erciyes University. I know her since for 10 years, maybe Beyza, maybe more than. Yes, and she wants to share her experience about Shakespeare tonight, and it will be very good practice for you. During the presentation, I will send you a link, okay, Google Form link. You will write your name, email, and telephone number. So when the session is finished, but not today, I will send you certificate. Beyza, I will send you certificate too, okay, as a presenter. During the presentation, check your chat chat. Yes, I will send the link. So when you enter your name, email, and telephone number, I will send you the certificate. Okay. Maybe Beyza, first you will introduce yourself and you can maybe tell about your Erasmus experience in Italy. It can be very interesting for my students. Um, okay, now I'm turning off my camera and I mute myself and the stage is yours. Beyza.
Thank you so much. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our presentation. Actually, my presentation, and I am Beyza, and I am an English language teacher right now. As Tuba just said, I'm graduated from English language and literature from Erciyes University with a good degree, actually. And in this department, we read many interesting things like stories, poems, plays, and dramas. So we learn a lot of about famous writers and their stories. And today we will talk about one of the most famous one, of course, William Shakespeare. However, before that, as Tuvo just said, I will share a few of my experiences in Italy. So, like 2 months ago, approximately 2 months ago, I was in Italy, Florence. I went there thanks to the Erasmus internship. It's Erasmus Plus. It's like a Erasmus Plus project, as you know, all of you probably know it thanks to our teacher. And I entered an exam for that, and I passed the whole exams. And then they just chose 3 students in our university, and I was one of them. And I found an internship place for myself in Italy, Florence. And it was an amazing journey for me. I spent time in there like for 2 months, and I was an English teacher to Italian students over there. It was perfect, actually. Maybe some of you went to Italy with Erasmus project. I don't know. I hope you did. Even if you didn't, I believe that you can do it in the future, especially with Tuba teacher. She's perfect. I really follow her every project. So yeah, it's like that. And if you are ready, we can just start to our presentation about William Shakespeare. And today I'm really excited actually because I will introduce to his magical world. But first of all, let me share my screen. I hope you can see it now.
Yes, now we see.
Okay, I'm trying to make it bigger though. Hocam, do you want me to add something about my Italy experience? I don't know, but
No, it's enough.
okay.
Actually, my all students know about Erasmus, and some of them have been to Italy. But it is
Great.
nice that they see you as a teacher and who has experience in Italy, the Erasmus. So it's so nice. Now, okay, you can continue.
Okay. So, as I told you, today we will talk about the magical world of Shakespeare. And we will talk about his some of plays like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet. I think you all know at least one of the plays. And actually, one of the interesting things about Shakespeare is probably you all heard about him because you are students and you are really clever. I know about it, but it's just not you. I'm sure if you go and ask your parents, hey, mom, do you know about Shakespeare? They will probably say, yes, we know about him. And I think this is very interesting because imagine my parents are almost 50 years old. They are really like 50 years old. And if you go them and ask, hey, do you know about Shakespeare and his plays? I'm sure my mom or dad will tell you, yes, we know Romeo and Juliet or the Hamlet. He's that much famous. And I think this is very interesting. And we don't know any other maybe writers this much. So imagine a writer who lived more than 400 years ago, but students, teachers, and even parents of today still know his stories. That shows us how powerful the Shakespeare stories are. So today we will look at his some of stories. Let's begin. Uh, as you can see here, there's a picture. Do you think this is Shakespeare? Maybe some of you can write to the chat box if he is Shakespeare or not, because this is an English playwright and poet. It says more than 400 years ago, wrote plays for the theater. Do you have any idea? You can just write chat box, yes or no. This is it.
For me, no. He looks so
No.
young. I have never seen his young photo.
Yes, it is true actually. No, no, they think no. Okay. They're really smart because he's not Shakespeare. I just wanted to make a little trick for you. So here is our writer. Maybe you can see it now. Okay, here is Shakespeare. And this is William Shakespeare. As you can see, Shakespeare was an English writer and actor. He lived more than 400 years ago. This is a lot. And he wrote stories for the theater, which means actor performed his stories on the stage, and every person, almost every person watched it. So in total, he wrote more than 37 plays, and his stories are still famous today because they talk about things we all understand. For example, love, friendship, family, jealousy, mysteries, and sometimes even ghosts. He talked about all of this. And today, if you look at the TV shows or um, some other series, you will all see that these topics are still famous. And he also wrote about these things. So his plays are still performed in theaters, movies, and even cartoons that we will see like a few slides after. And there are some genres, as you can see in here. I put a smiling face, laughing, and there's a rip and king and queens. So what do you think? Like, what does this mean? Which genre it can be? Do you have any idea? You can just write to the chat box.
Please open your voice and speak directly because
Yes,
I want this presentation to be interactive. Elif Bera. Elif Bera is very active students. Yes, tell your
great.
ideas.
Uh, Hello. First of all, thank you for making us this presentation. I think the smiley face refers to comedy.
Definitely, you are right. Yes. And thank you. And do you have any idea for this one? What is the second one? Which genre it can be? Hatice Derin.
Hello. First of all, I think um the smiling face, the rest in peace, like the thing and Queen and the Kings are the things that he like wrote about and well I actually raised my finger for the smiling face one, but I think this one might be something which is really sad, like a sad story.
Okay, thank you for your participation, and you are right
You're
actually. But
welcome.
first let's listen Burcu also. Burcu.
I think the the rest in peace sign. I think it can be, but I think it can be like tragedy. You know, he wrote a lot of tragedies.
Definitely. And let's listen Gönül also. Lastly, finally, yes, Gönül.
I think the last picture is about a marriage. It can be
Mhm.
about marriage, a love story. It can symbolize a love story.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your all participations. And it is true, you are all right. It's the first one is comedy, of course. There's a funny emoji. And the second one, of course, it's a tragedy. Tragedy means like sad stories where things go very wrong in a story. We call them tragedy. And the last one is about history plays, like which tells stories about kings and historical events. And today we will look at two of his famous plays. One is a love story, actually, and it's about tragedy. And the other one is like a mystery story, which includes king and queen. And let's go to the other slide. Okay, as you can see in here, I want to show you these things because it's about the stories that we will just go through. What do you think about the first one in here? Which one it can be? Maybe you read it, maybe you never read it, or you never saw it. Gönül?
I think it's Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, great. And does anyone have an idea for the second one? What can it be? It's like a really famous one where he holds a head, like a dead body's head, and talks. Elif?
I think the second one is Hamlet from the famous scene. It's all about being or not being, that scene.
Definitely, you are right, and you know it. Well done. And do you have any idea about the third one? It's the one that we talked about actually, but it's like a monument, and it's the Juliet's monument actually in Italy because Romeo and Juliet is set in Italy, which I was also in there in Verona, and it's a really beautiful place. I hope you will see it also. And you are all right. Thank you for your answers. And now we will look at Shakespearean cartoons, actually. I'm sure you almost know all of these ones. Like, this is Simpsons. I'm sure you know about it. And this is Arthur, which is like maybe an old cartoon and shows my age, maybe. In Arthur, Simpsons, and of course Bugs Bunny, they all talked about Shakespeare's right. For example, in Selena, I'm sure you all know about Selena. It's it was really famous and it was the first place maybe I saw Shakespeare in my life. Like when I was a child, there is Selin and Ozan and they were playing Romeo and Juliet and it was like, whoa, what is this play? I was really thinking about it and it was the first place that I saw. And so Shakespeare stories are really famous that they appear in many cartoons, movies, and TV shows, as you can all see. Even when people make funny versions of these stories, they are still using Shakespeare's ideas. So even if you didn't know it, maybe there are some people who doesn't know anything about Shakespeare, but I am sure you may have already seen these parts of Shakespeare's stories before because as you can see, it is really famous. And if we talk about the first one in here, for example, Romeo and Juliet, it's like a most famous love story, I guess, in the world. And this story is about two young people who fallen in love. There is the Juliet and there is the Romeo, and they fell in love. It is about them, but their love is not easy as we all think. Maybe you read it, maybe you didn't. And I want to show you both of the sides and brief summary, I can say. For example, long ago, there was a city called Verona in Italy, as I told you. There were two powerful, very powerful families, and this is the Montague family, and there is the Capulet family. And there was a big problem between them. these two families really hated each other. They were like enemies, and they were always fighting. They refused to make peace. Even the king at the time came to their side and told them, please, enough of this fight. Just make a peace. And you're like a powerful family. You shouldn't show us these sides of you. But let's see what's going to happen between of them. So they were always arguing, fighting, and they refused to make a peace. But now imagine something. What would happen if someone from the Montague family fell in love with someone from the Capulet family? Can you imagine it? I think that would be a very big problem. It wouldn't be easy. And before starting the story, actually, there's an interesting fact also. So, at the beginning of the play, Romeo is actually not in love with Juliet. Maybe you didn't know it until this time. There's another girl called Rosaline, and Romeo was in love with Rosaline. And actually, Rosaline didn't love him back. It was like a platonic love, and Romeo was so sad. He was like always apart from his family. There was a big fight in both of the families that I showed you, like Montague and Capulet family. There was fight, but Romeo was far away from them. He was just thinking about Rosaline. He was so sad, and Rosalind didn't give her love to him. So one night, Romeo just goes to a party to make his mind, he wants to enjoy with his cousins and family. And there is a cousin of Romeo. He comes to Romeo and says like, "Hey, Romeo, I heard that there is a big party in one of the family, but he don't mention about the name, and probably they don't know about the place where they are gonna go. They just heard that there's a big party, so they decide to go there to enjoy." And Romeo is sad, so he wants just to have a fun a bit. And that night, they went to Capulet family's house, which was the you know Juliet's family, but they are enemies, but they don't know it yet. So they went to the party of the Capulets. And that night, something unexpected happens. At the party, look, there's a Romeo, as you can see here. Romeo goes to the party. And at the party, Romeo sees Juliet. They see each other for the first time, and they immediately fall in love with each other. However, there's something that they will soon discover, and it is horrible thing that they will discover, but they still don't know anything about it. They were just enjoying at the party, they saw each other, they fell in love. And their families are enemies. Romeo is from the Montague family, Juliet is from the Capulet family. Their love must be secret. Later that night, they learn about this situation and they feel so sad. They learn that their families are enemies. Like, what are they gonna do? They can't even get married in this situation. And they are feeling really sad that Romeo went to the Juliet's balcony. It is the most famous scene, as you know, from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And Romeo goes to Juliet's balcony, standing on her balcony like this, and Romeo is secretly standing in the garden below also. They talk about their love and promise to stay together. They give each other promises like, hey, we should be like this forever. Whatever happens, our families, it's their business. I love you and you love me back. And Juliet even says something very famous. Maybe you know this quote. It's like Juliet says, "Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" It means like, why do you have to be Romeo? Why do you have to belong to the enemy family, not to our family? And then they think about something. And in here, we have Lawrence. He's a priest, and Juliet and Romeo, they go to find this priest, and he's very good person. He wants these two people to be happy and just in a good terms with the family. So they secretly go to a priest called Lawrence, he agrees to help them actually, and they get married in secret. Nobody knows about it. Just this priest knows. But things become very complicated. Juliet's parents want her to marry to another man called Paris, but Juliet of course doesn't want it, and she's already married to Romeo, but their families doesn't know anything about this. So this Lawrence, this priest, makes a plan. Like, what can they do? He's thinking about it. He's trying to give them advice because he really wants to support these people who is in love with each other. He believes that love is a good thing, and probably this love between them makes a peaceful environment for these families also, and the whole city will be finally in peace because these families are powerful and they are really making a big fight in the whole city. And Lawrence makes a plan. He gives a Juliet a special poison, as you can see in here. This thing is the poison. And when she drinks it, she will look dead for 42 hours. She will be in a long sleep, but nobody will know anything about it. So before she marries with Paris, she drinks this poison and she goes into a long, deep sleep. But everybody supposes that Juliet is dead because how can somebody sleep 42 hours, right? It's impossible. They suppose that she is dead, and later she wakes up and run away with Romeo. This is their plan. But something goes wrong. Romeo is not in the town when this all happens. He hears the terrible news that Juliet is dead. Romeo feels heartbroken. He cannot live without Juliet. What he's gonna do? So he drinks poison and dies next to the Juliet. He just goes to town. He sees the Juliet tomb, and he's like, "Oh my God, my love is dead. What I'm gonna do now? I don't have anything except for her in my life. So I should be just that also." He can't stand this love without her. How it's gonna be like his life? So he drinks poison and dies next to Juliet. A little later, Juliet finally wakes up because 42 hours is finished, and she woke up, and what she suddenly saw that there's Romeo next to her. She cannot believe this, and she cannot live without him either. And sadly, she takes her own life also, so she is also dead. And that is why Romeo and Juliet is one of the most famous tragedies ever written. I think it's really good, this play. And as you can see, it's so tragic. There are lots of things happening between them. Of course, I didn't tell you the whole story, everything, what is going on, but this was the, I think, most inclusive summary about them. And I really love this story. I hope you liked it also. And what do you think about it? Do you want to comment anything? Do you want to say anything about this story? Have you ever read it before, or you just knew it briefly? Gönül?
I once heard that Shakespeare wrote the story to make fun of the other romantic stories. Is that true?
Yes, it's true, and I'm surprised that you know it. Yes, there are some rumors about it actually, and it's one of them. So you knew it already. Okay, and Hatice?
Uh, First of all, I think the summary was amazing. Thank you
You're welcome.
for your presentation about Romeo and Juliet. And I actually wanted to say, like, this is like I think it's not something that has to be that famous. Like,
So
yeah,
you think this is exaggerated?
it- it's very, very
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I can't hear her teacher.
Tragedy
What teacher, can you hear her?
story, but I think there are a lot of I think there are a lot more stories than Romeo and Juliet. Okay, I'm not like
Okay.
can you hear me hear me right now?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so actually not to complain, but I think like I know a lot more stories that are better than Romeo and Juliet. As someone who never uh read Romeo and Juliet before, I think it was good, but as I told you, I don't think it like I think it's so over oh my God, I forgot to say it, how to say it. But yeah, by the way, I think it's way too exaggerated. And by the way, do you know why the families are like enemies? The two of like Romeo's and Juliet's families are enemies. Do you know the reason of that?
Actually, to be honest, I don't know the reason, but it's just a story and it's not real. So I think he just made it up. And at that time, the
Oh yeah,
families
okay.
really, at that time, families are really always in conflict in those areas. So he just wanted to, I think, show a different side of view, like how would it be like? He just shows the real subjects and he used them in his stories. I think this is why,
Okay, yeah, it makes sense because like it's not so
probably.
important. Like the really important thing was the things that happened between Romeo and Juliet. So it makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you too for your participation. And Elif Berra?
I think that I wasn't actually waiting a tragic end like this. It was so surprised, but I think like for Shakespeare's time, I heard that where people was sick and dying from hunger and sickness, he like intends to write something like this. So for his time, it is a big project, but right now it doesn't sound really realistic to me because the price and Juliet doing this plan without um, Romeo is a little unrealistic.
Yes, actually. So at that time, actually, I just give a brief summary. That's why I didn't explain you the whole thing. So you are not gonna get bored also. I just get the whole, important points. At that time, Romeo and his cousin kill one of the other side of the family's relevant. And that's why Romeo had to run away to another town. After getting married, this happens, and Romeo doesn't have any choice to run away. Like he has to run away because he can't stay in that city. So if the prince know, if the whole kingdom will learn about it, he will be dead also. So his only choice is running away, and that's why the price and Juliet's plan is just doing this secretly so that she can run away to the other town, which Romeo isn't there. Actually, this was the story. That's why, or else Romeo is not just hanging around there and he doesn't know anything. It is not like that. Actually, he had to run away from the town because of what he did to the other side of the family. He killed one of them and he had to run away. That's why Juliet just finds a solution like this. Poor Juliet, yes. And Hatice, do you want to say something?
Thank
No, I'm so sorry. My hand was up for no reason. I forgot to like yeah, close it, sorry.
No, it's all okay. Thank you for your all participation. And now we will talk about
Beyza, did you see the messages in the chat?
Hocam, actually, no, sorry for that.
Yeah,
I'm
there is
gonna look.
a strong discussion there. Maybe you want to check. I think
Yes.
first overrated, then I think Romeo and Juliet could have been slightly more understood if it was perceived as the tragedy. It is rather than a romance. Unnecessary portion of internet. Devran Yağız Ali. No, this is nonsense. And don't agree overrated. Oh, really very strong discussion. And I want to say that did you realize how wonderful my students' English is it? Right?
I really realized it, and I'm so surprised because I'm working as an English teacher in another place right now, and they are not like this at all. I am so surprised that they are this much knowledgeable. They know everything, and they talk
I
in a
told
perfect
you. I
way.
told you you have to speak English
Yeah.
because my students understand.
Yes, they are
And
great.
really, they join the lesson. Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you
it's
for your
your
all
turn, baby.
participation.
I'm
Yes.
watching.
So now we will talk about the second story. It is Hamlet, and you all know, maybe almost all know this one, as I realize. And this is another story by Shakespeare. This story is very different from Romeo and Juliet, actually, and it is more complicated. If I explain it the whole versions, it will be so long and it will get so much complicated. So I did my best to explain it in a brief summary way. I hope you will enjoy. And Romeo and Juliet, as you know, it was like a mainly love tragedy story, but this one is more like a mystery story. The play is called Hamlet, and in this story, there's a prince from Denmark. A prince from Denmark. He sees the ghost of his father, and this starts a mystery about the king. It is also one of Shakespeare's most famous tragedies, actually, and it includes one of the most famous lines in literature, as you know. I think someone said it before other slide. To be or not to be, that is the question. So this is very important.
Beni takip edenlere
And
bakıyorum 100, 200. Yani
just
benim gibi
another
anladın mı?
slide. Okay. Now, as you can see in here, again, there are some cartoons, especially Simpsons. Just like Romeo and Juliet, this story is also very famous, as we can see in here. We can see some references to Hamlet in cartoons and TV shows, always also like Romeo and Juliet. For example, sometimes shows like The Simpsons recreate famous scenes from this play. This shows us something interesting. Shakespeare's stories are so powerful that people still remember even today, after 100 years ago, as I told you before. I think it is very interesting. And now let's look at the story. As you can see, there's a young prince named Hamlet. His father was the king of Denmark, and after the king dies, by the way, he just dies in a surprising way. Nobody expects it. He is not sick or something else. And after the king dies, Hamlet's uncle becomes the new king. And something happens that Hamlet really doesn't like. His uncle quickly marries Hamlet's mother as the queen. And so Hamlet feels very confused and unhappy about this situation. He doesn't like that his uncle is with his mother right now and he's the new king. So one night, something very strange happens. Hamlet sees the ghost of his father, actually. This is very strange. And the ghost tells Hamlet something shocking. He says, "Take revenge of me. The king killed me." Hamlet is shocked. He was so clueless about this. Like, how it can happen? He's my uncle and he's your brother. How that can even happen? So the ghost of his
Tamam
father
oldu girdi.
says like, take revenge for me, the king killed me. Now Hamlet starts to think deeply about everything. He keeps asking himself big questions about life and decisions. And his famous line comes from here when he holds that body's head and says, to be or not to be. That is the question. As you know in Turkish, olmak ya da olmamak işte tüm soru bu diye. So, and then he starts to think about it a lot, about everything. He's a very thoughtful person. He has lots of things going in his mind. And everyone starts to suppose like, oh my God, Hamlet is going crazy. So Hamlet decided to make a clever plan while this all happens. He wasn't going crazy. He was just behaving in that way, but he was all okay. And he decided to make a clever plan. He learns that a group of actors is visiting their town and he asks them to change their play. He tells them like, hey, I wrote something and it is very interesting. And the king, like our king, will be very interested if you will just act it as my play how I wrote it. And Hamlet agrees to write a new scene for the play, and they accept it. In this new scene, a king is murdered in the same way like Hamlet's father was killed. So the actors perform the play in front of everyone, including the king. And as like because of the ghost of his father, like his father comes as a ghost way and he tells and explains how he was killed. So Hamlet knows it, he writes it in his plays, and the actors act it out, and the king sees. He is so surprised, he is so shocked, he can't believe what he is seeing. He directly leaves there. And when the king sees this scene, as I told you, he's so nervous, so shocked. That is how Hamlet understands, like, okay, the ghost was telling the truth to me. It is true. And later in the story, there's a big conflict about this. Hamlet and the king fight because like the king understands that Hamlet understood everything some way. He wasn't acting like he wasn't crazy. He was just acting crazy. So he's just trying to get rid of him. And they start to fight. Like king sends Hamlet to the faraway place. Then Hamlet comes. It's a big story over there. It is a bit complicated. And during this final fight, let's just say that they had a big fight. And during this final fight, many characters die, including the queen, the king, and the Hamlet himself. Because there was another person who tried to kill Hamlet because of his uncle. His uncle told that person, let's have a plan, because Hamlet understood everything and he wants to kill me, I'm sure about it. But Hamlet is such a person that he wants to do everything right. If he directly kills the king, the uncle, he would feel bad, and because he wants to do it in a correct way, even though he is the guilty one, he doesn't want to do it in a bad way. He thinks about the good sides of the other things, because the king starts to pray to God, and one night Hamlet goes to kill him, and then he sees that the king is praying like, God, I know what I did, but this was what I had to do, like all the other kings for their kingdom. So I just had to decide in this way. Please forgive me, God. And that night, Hamlet couldn't kill the king, his uncle, and he felt like, if I kill him in here when he was praying to God like that, I would be even more guilty than him because he's praying to God. It should be in a good way that I shouldn't also feel bad. So after some time, the king, the uncle, talks with another person. They think about a plan, like how they can get rid of Hamlet, and they decide to put a poison in the other person's sword, so that when Hamlet and that person get into a fight, Hamlet can get injured, and that poison can get into his blood, and he could be dead. But something strange happened when they were fighting with their swords. Uh, Hamlet gets injured, but then Hamlet gets the other person's sword and do the same injury to him. So he also gets the injury, and he gets like a more wound than Hamlet. So he had to say like, it was all the king's plan. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. He wants to kill you. This is why I did this. And at the same time, there's a queen, and they are watching the sword fight. There's the queen and the king, and there's another wine that they put a poison to there. King also put the wine to the poison because the king was thinking like, if we can't get rid of from Hamlet with the sword, poison sword, maybe we can try it with the wine. So he wants to be sure that he will get rid of Hamlet. And they decided to put the poison to the wine, and they did it. It was like in front of the queen. And then while this all happens, queen wants to drink wine. Then the king can't even say anything because she suddenly drinks it, and she's directly dead in there also. So Hamlet goes insane. His mother is also dead now, and the other person was trying to kill him also. And he can't stand this. He directly kills the king. And after some time, Hamlet is also dead in some way. And in this way, they are all dead. And this is also a tragedy. It is a really long story, but it's like, even though it's complicated, it is the good one. And when all of them are dead, this is their tragedy. So this is not only about a revenge, I can say, it is also about finding the truth and trying to do the right thing when it is very difficult. Because imagine Hamlet's situation. He wants to get a revenge because of his father. Like his father is dead because of his uncle, and they were also brothers. So he wants to get a revenge, but he always thinks about, is it the right choice? Am I gonna be like my uncle if I do it? So he's trying to find the truth and trying to do the right thing, even the situation is very difficult. So this is the main summary that I can tell you. I hope you liked it. And what do you think about this one? Have you ever read it before, or maybe you watched a video about it? Maybe you learned it in your lessons. You can tell me, Elif.
I think this one was much better than Romeo and Juliet because it has more action in it. Like it has kind of a more plot mountain and has actually great situations in it. And I think this one is more creative other than Romeo and Juliet, and the ending is a lot more better than that. Thank you.
Okay, yes, definitely. I agree with you. I think this is very interesting and it is complicated also. Imagine you are reading the book, like everything is getting more complicated. It's really a long plot, and I think it is way better than Romeo and Juliet because Romeo and Juliet is like a classical love story, as you said. You are right. And Gönül?
I read it before actually, and I love the story because it has a philosophy in it. I mean that Hamlet just wants his father's revenge, but he is fighting with his morals while doing it because he don't want to be a killer. He just wants a revenge for his father. He just wants um a revenge for his father. And that he's slowly going crazy for it in the story. I love that story going like that.
Thank you for your comment. I think you are right about it, and I'm surprised that you read it before because I think when I was at your age, I didn't read these stories actually. As I told you, I was really just seeing it from the TV shows. Very, very well done. I mean, I'm surprised. Beray.
I think I didn't even read it, but when you explain it, I think he should have killed him uncle when he was praying because in the end, the humanity in him it killed him. His
Yes.
mother is dead. Everyone tried to kill him. In the end, his humanity is killed, so he should have killed him when he was praying.
I mean, you can be right. At the end, all of them are dead. So what changed? Nothing changed almost. But I think it is a good way of thinking in both of the sides. Like he has a good moral that he is not like the other kings.
Yes,
Actually, this is. Mhm.
I thought about it, but the end changed the fact about it.
Yes, you are right. I agree with your comment also. Thank you for sharing it. Is there another person who wants to share, or there may be some comments at the chat in the chat box?
On chat, there is a going discussion again, Beyza, and really hard discussion, and they answer the question on their own. Who is Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, or something?
Oh.
But I want to ask something, Burcu. Do you think that Shakespeare is the best writer, or you have doubt that he is the best writer?
I mean, like, I think like he has a big potential of being the best writer because he literally like invented
Ne dinle?
Hocamın premium
English
var diye
words.
bitmiyor.
Yeah, Burcu, go on. I'm listening to you.
Like he invented words, like he made out words that weren't there before and made lots of additions to English language and literature. And I like his writing in books. I think, like literature value, I doubt that there is any better writers than that house that like.
I agree with you about English literature. He is the best in the English literature. We can discuss the other literature because we are not
Yeah,
good
like
at the other literature. We cannot
yeah, I
compare, but
know. Like there are probably better writers in our literature because Turkish language is comparably more rich than English language, but he also invented those things in a very old time. I think like he was smart and I really like his writings. So I don't know.
good. You are a fan of Shakespeare, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Great. I'm so happy. Okay, and Beyza on discussion, yes, they are going on. Yeah,
Yes, I was surprised. I was reading all of them, and well done to all of them, actually. They are
and
really smart.
all more than 40 students joined the meeting. I'm so happy.
I'm
Yeah,
so
they are
happy too.
interested in. Oh, they are
Yes,
still
definitely.
discussing. They agree or disagree. So nice. Yes, Beyza, I think you are going to finish, right? Ah, there
I
is a
have some,
competition.
yes, it's like a
Okay.
little competition for 10 questions. Uh, so there's the quiz part and the other slide, if I can go through it. Okay, this was the part I just forget to show it. So both of them fight and they are dead. And it's the quiz time. It's like a small and I think really easy quiz because you really listened in a good way. My students are not like this, so I just did it in an easy way so that you can all join and answer. If I knew that you are gonna be like this, it would be a bit harder. So if you want to join, you can just use the chat box. You can just write like A, B, C, D. And the first question is, which story is about two families who hate each other? Easy ones. Yes, Hatice.
Obviously, Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, thank you so much. And you all just can write like A, B. Yes, I can see your comment. Yes, someone said B. It is not B at all, actually. They don't hate each other in Hamlet. It's definitely in Romeo and Juliet. But thank you for your all participations. And Elif, do you want to say something? Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, it's not a problem. And it is true. It is Romeo and Juliet. Yes. And the second question is, who sees a ghost in Shakespeare's plays? You can use the chat box. Ali?
Hamlet.
Yes, it's true. Thank you. And let's wait the other answers also. Everyone is joining. Great. Yes. It is of course Hamlet because he saw a ghost of his father, and that ghost said like, take a revenge of me. Well done. Okay, where does Hamlet live? Is it Italy, England, or Denmark? Yes.
Chat is crazy, everybody knows.
Well done to them. Yes, it's true. It's A. It is Denmark. He was the Prince of Denmark, definitely. Okay, number 4. Kutlu, if you want, you can answer this one. I didn't see your hand, sorry. This picture shows a scene from Romeo and Juliet. Kutlu, do you want to say something about this one?
Teacher, teacher A.
Yes, great. Well done, Kutlu. And the other ones also said A. Great. Chat is crazy. I can't even see all the messages. Great. And the other question, why can Romeo and Juliet not be together? What is the reason that they can't be together? They live in different countries, that's why, or they don't know each other, their families hate each other. Semiha?
B.
Yes, their families hate each other. That's why they cannot be together. They couldn't be, unfortunately. Okay, they don't live in different countries. They both live in Verona, in Italy. So yes, it is B. Well done. And the other one, who becomes the new king in Hamlet? Is it A, B, or C? Yes, definitely. It's Hamlet's uncle. Well done to you all. And how does Hamlet test the king? What did he do to test the king, to understand the situation? Okay, some people say C, but it's about how he tests the king, how he understands the situation. So definitely it's A, you are right, because he wants to understand if the king really did it. So he arranged a play and sees what is the king's reaction. Great. And what is Hamlet? A king, a knight, or a prince? Someone says stop. Yes, it is C. True. And I think last questions. Who does Romeo think he loves at the beginning of the story? Is it Juliet, Rosaline, or another person? Ophelia. Yes, it is true. It is B, of course. It's Rosaline. Well done to you. At first, he thought that he was in love with Rosaline, but then he sees Juliet and his mind just changed. Well done. And the last question is, let me wait. Yes. Now, which story did you like more and why? Who wants to join? Maybe a few students we can listen to. Elif?
As you know, I like the second one more and better because I think it was more complicated and I really don't like the genre love and drama. So I think that the second story, Hamlet, was better because it had more action and complicated series of I forgot the words.
But definitely you are right. I agree with you. Thank you for sharing your opinion. And Gönül, what do you think?
I also liked Hamlet more because, like I said, as I said, Hamlet has and the story is more complicated, more story is more adventurous. Um, yes, I like Hamlet more.
Great, thanks. And if someone else wants to share their opinion, I can also listen them and then we can just finish. Okay. I think this is all, teacher. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening to me. I hope you really enjoyed. Thank you for your participation. I really appreciate it. You all listened, you all answered the questions in a perfect way. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. Elif?
Lastly, I wanted to thank you for making us this beautiful presentation, which was really informative for me. And I have a little question for Miss Tuba. Um, Miss Tuba, do we have to like do the last form? I did the first one.
And The form, the same. I sent the form several times because just 18% fill it, but we are more than 40. So please fill the form so I will prepare your certificate, okay? Okay.
Hocam, and thank you too for giving me this opportunity. It means a lot to me. Thanks a lot.
Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed, and I think I enjoyed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
And
much.
in the form, I asked that, would you like to go on? If you say yes, I will ask Beyza teacher maybe prepare more lessons. Then we will
Definitely.
see, okay?
I would be
Then,
really happy to
oh,
contribute,
great.
even at a bit. Thank you.
Then, goodbye, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Thank you for your participation.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Thank you
everyone.
for all
Thank you, Beyza
presentation.
teacher, to
Goodbye.
share some time with us.
Goodbye.
Thank you.